For years, the government of Mexico has gotten away with dumping their raw sewage, tens of millions of gallons of it, every day into the Pacific Ocean, contaminating Southern California beaches and bays. But the Trump administration just announced a big deal that may address the problem. But coming up, I'll tell you why the deal doesn't go far enough and what we're having to do to fight back to stop Mexico from dumping their sewage onto Southern California beaches and bays. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator. I've been covering this issue for literally decades as a public official and as a host of my radio show and this podcast. And that is the little covered, I would say suppressed by the liberal media, environmental calamity of the government of Mexico dumping raw sewage every day, nearly 70 to 90 million gallons of raw sewage every day into the Pacific Ocean through the Tijuana estuary. And that sewage then flows north to contaminate U.S. Southern California beaches and bays. It's been going on for 50 years. And it's been getting worse. And all the Democrats in California say, we're for the environment, we're for the environment. Not a word on this Mexico sewage scam. And yet, voters in Southern California, in San Diego, in the most Democrat districts, are the ones that are the most impacted in terms of their environmental issues and their public health problems by the sewage. Why? Why are Democrats not acting on this issue? Because they're supposed to be the party of the environment. Because they don't want to offend their counterparts across the border. Oh, yeah. Everything with Mexico is how can we serve them? And there's a big, huge scam on this, but I digress. We'll get into that in just a moment. I'm going to tell you what the Trump administration just did to finally take action on this issue. And while I am thrilled with some of the things that they're doing, it still doesn't go far enough. I'll explain why and what we can do to fight back. But I need you to help us spread the word. We've been on this story for years. We need to keep the pressure up. And the only way we can do that is with your help. Like this video and subscribe to this channel to keep that algorithm as strong as possible, because more subscribers we get, the more notification buttons that you click, the more times you like the video, the more we can spread the word to California voters as to how Democrat politicians are dropping the ball in protecting the environment. Plus, go to our website and sign up. We are a broad-based movement dedicated to taking back California from the insanity of the far left. Yes, we are trying to break the Democrat supermajority in Sacramento. Yes, we are trying to qualify initiatives like the California Voter ID Initiative in 2026, the Save Prop 13 Taxpayer Protection Initiative in 2026. Plus, we're trying to recruit and support candidates for everything from school board to county commissioner to judgeships. We can't do any of that work without your help. So sign up at the bottom of the website, first name, last name, email, phone, and zip code, and please consider chipping in a contribution so we can do all of this work. All right. So what's going on with Mexico? For the last 50 years, Mexico has consistently just dumped their raw sewage into the Pacific Ocean. They do this because they know the water flows north. If it flowed south and hit Mexico's beaches and bays, they wouldn't do it. But they do north. They allow it to happen because it's the gringos that basically are going to be hit and hurt by the sewage. California politicians have done nothing to scream and yell about this, with rare exception. And they certainly haven't solved it. Mexico gets a bunch of fresh water from the United States every year under the U.S.-Mexico Treaty that was signed in the 1950s. They are supposed to, America provides water from the Colorado River, fresh water, tens of millions of gallons a day of fresh water. And Mexico is supposed to not destroy the environment. They're supposed to make sure that their country's environmental emissions don't impact the United States. America has delivered the water every year since the 1950s. Mexico has consistently dumped their sewage since the 1950s onto our beaches and bays. It is so bad that in San Diego County, from Coronado Beach to Imperial Beach and everywhere in between, up even to sometimes Carlsbad and Oceanside, our beaches are shut down for a portion of the year. And in fact, Imperial Beach's beaches are typically closed half the year because of raw sewage. It is absolutely insane what is going on. There was a recent study done by San Diego County with funding from the federal government. They studied a group of 2,099 people living in Imperial Beach. 64% of them reported at least one worsening physical health symptom in the last 30 days attributed to sewage. 31% even had to seek medical care because of it. So that's out-of-pocket expense that's having an impact on our healthcare system. 90% of people say that air and water quality is bad and they're worried about it. 95% say that they can smell the sewage and it bothers them. 21% say that major depression and anxiety is being felt by them due to the smell and fear of environmental contamination from the sewage. We know that surfers have gone into the water and gotten rashes. We know that Border Patrol agents have gone on into the Tijuana River when the sewage is in there and gotten ill. One Border Patrol agent told me that one time he had to, catch someone illegally crossing. Had to wade into the water. His boots were all wet, so he went home that night and left his boots outside because they stunk. When he came out the next morning, the laces, the stitching in the boots had disintegrated from whatever contaminants were in there. The boots literally fell apart. This is bad stuff. And we've been allowing this. 31 billion gallons of sewage since 2018. 31 billion. Wrap that around your head. 31 billion gallons of raw sewage has been dumped by Mexico just since 2018. And we're talking, approximately 50 to 70 million gallons a day happening in terms of what's being dumped. So in this administration, President Trump found out about this and he cracked the whip. He said, that's it. We need to deal with this. He ordered Lee Zeldin, the EPA administrator, as well as Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, to take immediate actions. Rubio and Zeldin have done marvelous work. Rubio fired the International River Commissioner, who was a Biden appointee, immediately, and put someone in who's going to be focusing on this issue. EPA Administrator Zeldin came to San Diego in April, did a site visit, said that this is not acceptable, that he would demand that action be taken by Mexico. And now we have an announcement from the EPA website. United States and Mexico reach agreement to permanently and urgently end decades-long Tijuana River sewage crisis. It's a major victory. Here's what will happen. Number one, Mexico will spend $93 million that they were given, but that they haven't yet spent. Okay. I guess that's progress. Number two, there will be a timeline for completing what they call Minute 328 projects. This is under this treaty to address the sewage, and that they're accelerating the deadlines. And they've added additional projects as part of this commitment. We have other details. For example, they will have to accelerate major projects under that previous agreement by December 31st, 2027. That's 4 years ahead of schedule. They will commit to reducing two projects or completing two projects this year to divert 10 million gallons per day of wastewater away from San Diego and Southern California beaches. Now, let me put that in perspective. They're going to divert 10 million gallons of sewage per day. But remember what I just told you. 50 to 70 million gallons are dumped every day. So while it's progress, not enough, no bueno. And they're going to try to expand the wastewater treatment plant to treating 35 million gallons per day by August 2025. Again, that expansion may do a little bit of help, but we will still have tens of millions of gallons per day of sewage on our beaches and bays. A progress point, yes, not sufficient. So what do we need to do? I proposed that we get really tough, put the screws to them. Number one, we need to stipulate that there will be no sewage dumped on our beaches and bays, period, full stop. Zero. Not 10 million reduction, but start with the baseline 0. And Mexico should pay for that infrastructure. We shouldn't be giving them money. This is their sewage, their problem, their cost to bear. We've been giving money, and then they've been keeping the money and not doing the projects. See how scandalous this is? Third, we have to have a penalty. If you don't get on top of your sewage issue, if you do have a sewage spill, then we're going to penalize you. So number one, we should start by not sending them fresh water, because clearly they don't have the ability to treat the dirty water that they've got. So why should we be sending them more water when all they're going to do is use that water and release sewage back to us? So no more water under the treaty, full stop. We've been sending hundreds of millions of gallons every day of fresh water across the border to Mexico. And now Democrats in California want to sell water to Mexico through San Diego County Water Authority. Oh, yes, the media is not reporting this, but we're tracking it. We know what their scheme is. San Diego water ratepayers are paying 4 times per acre foot for the cost of their water because they're doing this sewage reuse project called the Pure Water Project. It's toilet to tap. And they're doing desalination, very expensive water. But now San Diego has a water surplus. So even while we're still paying more per acre foot of water to do all these projects, which we shouldn't be doing these projects, period, full stop, we're now having the politicians say to Mexico, hey, we have more water for you, subsidized by our ratepayers, a gift to you, Mexico, a gift, a subsidy. And so the first thing is no more water. For every day that you dump sewage, we cut off the water. How do you like them apples? Second, we should shut the border. Any day that one of our beaches are shut because of sewage contamination, we need to shut the border, because we wouldn't want you coming across to our side of the border, going to one of our beaches and getting sick. Heaven forbid. This is what we're going to need in order to force Mexico to finally clean up their crap water. And this is insane. Here we have an environmental calamity, a public health crisis, and the politicians, the Democrat politicians in particular, aren't doing anything. I give great kudos to Marco Rubio, Lee Zeldin, President Trump for doing at least this much. This is more than any administration has done in the history of this problem. But we need to finish the job. So spread the word. We're not done yet. I represent a border district. The 75th Assembly District is a border district. My district borders Mexico. This is an impact to my community, but it's an impact to all Californians, and no Californian should accept this sort of behavior from the Mexican government. Join us at reformcalifornia.org. We are leading the fight to take back the state. Thanks for watching the podcast. Hit like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.